Part 1. Expansion. Have you ever noticed some women have a lighter, intimate area while others have a much darker one? And the moment this thought enters the mind, curiosity begins. Men wonder, does it mean something about her health? About her sexuality? About her past? Women wonder, is this normal? Should I be ashamed? Or is it a sign of something deeper within me? This single question, why some vaginas are darker than others, has created myths, insecurities, and even silent judgments. But today, we're breaking the taboo. We're going to dive into what science, psychology, and human behavior really say about it. And by the end of this video, you'll realize something powerful. It's not the color that matters. It's the confidence behind it. The science of color. Hormones in action. Let's begin with the biological side. When estrogen rises during puberty, a woman's body begins transforming. Skin doesn't just grow and stretch. It changes tone. Areas like the labia, nipples, and inner thighs often become darker. And during pregnancy, this effect can intensify. Why? The answer lies in melanin, the pigment that gives skin, hair, and eyes their color. Hormones like estrogen increase melanin activity in certain parts of the body, which explains why intimate regions can appear much darker than the surrounding skin. So if you've ever thought darker coloration meant something wrong, understand this. It's one of the clearest signs of a body working exactly as nature intended. But here's where it gets interesting. The science is clear, but psychology tells a different story, because what we believe about color often affects behavior more than the truth itself. Psychology, shame versus confidence. Here's a fact that might surprise you. In surveys, many women admit they feel insecure about the appearance of their intimate area, mostly because of unrealistic beauty standards promoted by media. Retouched images, adult films, and filtered photos convince women that everything must be perfectly pink, smooth, and flawless. But psychology tells us something much more powerful. Women who embrace their natural bodies, including their vaginal color, display higher levels of confidence in intimacy. And confidence changes everything. Think about it. Sexual experiences are not just physical. They are deeply psychological. A woman who is ashamed, constantly worried about how she looks, cannot fully relax. But a woman who embraces her uniqueness brings energy, passion, and emotional connection into the bedroom. So here's the truth. Darker coloration is not a flaw. It can actually be a silent sign of maturity, self-acceptance, and personal strength. Genetics. Nature's blueprint. Now let's zoom out. Why do some women have darker intimate areas while others don't? The answer is simple. Genetics. Just as one person has blue eyes and another has brown, intimate skin tone, also varies based on ethnicity and individual DNA. People with naturally darker skin tones will almost always have darker private areas, and those with lighter complexions will often, but not always, have lighter tones. And here's the key. There is no health risk in darker coloration. It is not a sign of disease, poor hygiene, or sexual activity. These are myths, and myths are dangerous because they cause unnecessary shame where none should exist. In reality, it is simply the fingerprint of nature, stamped into every person's unique design. Male psychology, attraction and perception, but let's flip the perspective. What do men really think about darker vaginas? Here's where psychology gets fascinating. While women often worry about how their bodies look, many men are quietly intrigued by uniqueness. For some, a darker tone feels exotic, rare, or even more sexually appealing. Others associate it with passion, maturity, or a higher sense of femininity. Science doesn't directly prove these associations, but human attraction is not purely logical. Desire is built on perception, and perception is deeply personal. This is why darker coloration, far from being something to hide, can actually fuel attraction, simply because it makes a woman stand out. The bigger truth, what really matters. The end of the day, let's strip away the myths. The color of a woman's vagina tells us nothing about her hygiene, her health, or her sexual history. It does not reveal how many partners she's had, whether she is clean, or whether she is experienced. Those are dangerous lies that have been passed down through culture and ignorance. What actually matters is health, hygiene, and, most importantly, confidence. Because confidence is the one factor that makes intimacy unforgettable. The final thought. So the next time someone asks, what does it mean if a woman has a darker vagina? The answer is simple. It means her body is responding to hormones, genetics, and melanin, just as nature designed. It's normal, it's natural, and it's beautiful. But here's the part nobody talks about. If color tells us very little, what about shape? Does the appearance or structure of a woman's intimate area reveal hidden truths about her psychology, her attraction power, or even her past experiences? That's where things get even more fascinating. And that's exactly what we'll uncover. In the next video, first, hormones. When estrogen levels rise, like during puberty, pregnancy, or hormonal shifts, skin naturally darkens in certain regions. The labia, nipples, and even inner thighs can take on a deeper shade. This isn't abnormal. It's biology at work, powered by melanin, the same pigment that gives all skin its unique tone. Second, psychology. Here's where it gets interesting. Many women feel insecure because society promotes unrealistic beauty standards. But psychologists note that darker coloration is often tied to maturity, sexual development, and genetics, not something to be hidden. In fact, women who embrace their natural appearance tend to show higher confidence in intimacy. And confidence is one of the most powerful forms of attraction. Third, genetics and ethnicity. Think about it like eye color or hair color. It simply varies. Some people are naturally darker, and so are their private areas. More melanin doesn't mean anything unhealthy. It just means nature designed uniqueness into every individual body. Now here's where male psychology enters the picture. Many men secretly find darker-toned vaginas more attractive. Why? Because uniqueness fuels desire. Some associate darker tones with exotic beauty or higher sexual energy. Science doesn't prove that part. But in the world of attraction, perception is everything. So what's the real takeaway? Color doesn't define cleanliness, health, or sexual past. Those are myths. What truly matters is hygiene, health, and, above all, confidence. And here's the final thought that might surprise you. The darker a woman's vagina is, the more it reflects her hormonal balance, her natural genetics, and her individuality. In other words, it's normal, natural, and nothing to be ashamed of. The darker a woman's intimate area, psychology facts and human behavior insights. Our bodies carry many hidden messages, and even the parts we rarely discuss can reveal interesting truths. One area often surrounded by curiosity, myths, and misconceptions is the color of a woman's vulva or vaginal region. Some people wonder if a darker tone carries a deeper meaning. Let's break this down clearly. Hormones shape skin tone. The shade of the vaginal area can change under the influence of hormones, particularly estrogen. During puberty, pregnancy, or any phase of hormonal shifts, areas like the labia, inner thighs, and even nipples may naturally darken. This is linked to melanin, the pigment that defines skin tone in all parts of the body. Psychological meaning, confidence, not shame. Many women feel pressured by unrealistic beauty standards promoted by media. In reality, darker coloration is neither dirty nor abnormal. It's often a sign of maturity, healthy development, or individual genetics. Psychology shows that women who accept and embrace their natural look tend to experience greater confidence in intimacy, which improves both pleasure and emotional closeness. Genetics and melanin's role. Just as eye and hair colors vary from person to person, intimate skin tone also differs depending on ethnicity and genetics. People with naturally darker skin tones simply have higher melanin levels, and this extends to their private areas. It is entirely normal, with no connection to disease or poor hygiene. Perceptions of attraction. In the realm of attraction, personal preferences often come into play. Some men find darker-toned, intimate areas particularly appealing, linking them with uniqueness, sensuality, or exotic charm. While this is more about perception than science, it highlights how individuality often enhances desire. What truly matters? The color of a woman's vagina says nothing about her hygiene, health, or sexual history. Those are myths with no scientific foundation. What matters most is well-being, personal care, and the confidence a woman carries within herself. Final takeaway. So, a darker vaginal tone is simply a natural result of hormones, genetics, and melanin. Instead of judgment, it deserves understanding. The real beauty lies in confidence, health, and embracing the body as it is.